Clean these flasks. Put the documents back in the library. Remove these leaves from the courtyard. Pip's life was full of orders. Quite frankly, he was slave to the alchemists of the Iron Shrine. He was practically indebted to his creators who treat him ever so fairly. He's done a lot of shit for them. Cooking, cleaning, being a test subject. Hell, he has the scars to prove it. Where was the appreciation for all that? No, thanks Pip, you did a really good job. Nope, all he gets back is, get back in your fucking room that's basically just the janitor's closet. The janitor is you, by the way. Even the people at the Iron Shrine were treating him like a joke. Not only that, they were also so incredibly racist with him because of who he was. Those assholes. I'll show them. Someday. His thoughts were interrupted by a booming voice calling out to him. It was the guardian of the alchemy records, Jin. Yes, Pip said, arriving at the library, but not going past the doorway. Pip, I want you to grab relaxing berries. I want to test this recipe for a more aggressive and effective version of liquid fire, the man said, holding up a test tube with blue smoking liquid and shaking it around, mixing it with something. Pip made his way to the basement, lazily taking the keys from his belt and unlocking the wooden door. The basement was an all too familiar sight. There was nothing significant about it, just plain wooden crates filled with a variety of fruit, plants, and medicine as ingredients for alchemy. Where the hell are you? Pip cursed to himself as he opened every container in sight, but he couldn't find what he was looking for. He would ask for help like a regular person, but he'd just be berated and told about how incompetent he was if he couldn't bring them what they wanted. I'll show them, he thought. Pip gained something as a test subject for the alchemists. Using some rare herbs or whatever, they managed to give him an ability that made him completely weightless. It was incredible, and probably the only thing he would ever admit to being grateful about towards those asshats. Because of this, he could jump without limit and move faster than normal, all thanks to whatever the hell they injected into him. Though this would only work on a moment's time. Using said ability, he jumped around the room, checking every cabinet too high for him to reach and knocking off crates on top of others to search inside of them. Fortunately, he was able to find it. Unfortunately, he knocked half of the box onto the floor, causing the berries to roll under a cabinet. Pip used all of his might as he pulled the cabinet away from the wall. When he had displaced it a good 4 feet, Pip went around to clean up his mess, but instead he found something that made him pause. There was a dusty, hidden trap door under the wooden container he had moved. How had he not noticed this after cleaning for so many years? He didn't go further with that question, though. Instead, he approached the small entrance and grabbed the metal handle. Pip, where are the berries? With a sigh, Pip grabbed the berries off the floor and brought it up to the impatient and ungrateful fat ass. Though he kept quiet about his discovery. I made a mess while looking for it. I'll just go clean it up. Pip excused himself as he went to return to the basement. Clumsy, as always. He rolled his eyes as he scurried back. This time, he didn't pause as he yanked open the door. The smell is what hit him first. Putrid, foul, and rotten. He covered his nose with his mouth and scrunched his eyes shut. What the hell? He commented as he peeked inside the hole to find bones, and lots of them. He could use his ability again to hop right out of the hole just in case the alchemists were secretly feeding a monster in there. Clearing his mind for an easy escape, Pip dropped into the hole, and he would never regret it. He grabbed a femur and noticed its length. It was the same as his. Next, he picked up a skull. He's washed himself before, so he knows how he feels. Every piece, every bone, it was all identical to him. He didn't even notice the smell because he was too focused comparing every bone he got in his hands to his own. He noticed clothing over the bodies, torn and crumpled, but they were clothes. The clothes that his kind wore. Good, good, lad, Barrett commented, not even drinking his beer anymore, which was a sign that he was completely into what Pip was telling him. What happened next? The dwarf whispered, trying not to wake the sleeping Cassie. Pip was tired and not in the mood to remember any other details of what happened, so he settled for a frank answer to end the story. I hid what I saw, but I grabbed these old dusty goggles I found in the hole. I waited until those fucks were sleeping, and I became the fire thief. So that launcher of yours, the blue stuff? Yep, Pip confirmed, but at this point he was too drunk to hold in any of his anger any longer. And I'll make sure the entirety of the Crosswinds hold knows who I am, he roared, beating his chest as he stood up in his chair, balancing his feet on the armrests. They heard a stir from the bed behind them. What? They heard. Oh, nothing, Cassie, Pip said before falling off of his chair. Thankfully, that didn't wake Cassie or her parrot again. So, Pip said as he grinned at Barrick, any other questions for me? He was answered with the loudest snoring he'd ever hear. Huh, I thought so, he said as he passed out onto the floor.